so that she could date Travis and there wasn't any pressure. And then she met Travis and she's happy with Travis. And part of me was like really jealous. I was like, that's not fair. She had a 6-year relationship. Obviously to the outside, people think it's perfect, but it obviously wasn't because they split up. But part of me felt, well, that's not fair. Like, she had that relationship and then she's gone on to find someone else. And then I had to check myself and be like, you're not a billionaire, you're not a 6-foot blonde, you're not a international celebrity, you're not a pop star. Like, stop comparing your whole dating scenario to a famous celebrity who obviously mixes with people constantly all day, has people sliding into their DMs all the time. You can't relate your experience living in a seaside town to that. And that's sometimes half the problem, is that people like me are sitting comparing their experience to celebrities that have access to more people. Whereas the reality is most people have an ordinary job, go to an office where there's maybe, 10 or 12 people, and they're swiping on Tinder in the evening because they can't find anyone. So just because men aren't approaching you, it doesn't mean it's a lack of self-worth. And this took me a lot of time to realise, because I was watching content that was saying, no one's approaching you, there's something wrong with you, you're the common denominator. And I'd always hear that all the time, this you're the common denominator, like if you're single it's because there's something wrong with you. And it's like, no, there isn't something wrong with you. A lot of dating is purely down to geography. A lot of dating is purely down to people's financial needs. Dating is a lot more nuanced than just people aren't approaching you. I mean, people aren't going to approach you on the train anymore. People aren't going to approach you in bars. A lot of the time, men don't approach women. A lot of the time, men end up in relationships is because the woman has approached them. We have sterilised our men to the point where they don't want to approach, to the point where they feel if they do approach, it's more than their job's worth, because they don't want to lose their job, they don't want to lose their livelihood over something that potentially might not work out. This is what I had to realise, is to not get my self-worth tied up with whether or not men approach me or not.
If you were a carpenter and I were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? If a tinker were your trade, would you still find me carrying the pots you made, following behind me? See my love through loneliness, see my love for sorrow. I've given you my onlyness, come give me your tomorrow. If you worked your hands in wood, would you still love me? Answer me, baby, yes I would. I'd put you above me. And if you were a millionaire,